Hi everyone, it's Godwin Vaz here, introducing you and welcoming you to the world of transformational leadership, or what I refer to as the inner journey of leadership. Let me start by defining that term more precisely, transformational leadership. What exactly is it, and what does it mean for you to be a transformational leader? Well, I've had the privilege of working all around the world with some of the most successful companies in the world, the likes of Singapore Airlines, Microsoft, and others, and helping their leaders, middle and senior, to be able to improve their capability, their personal growth and character, and also vastly improve the results of their teams and their organizations. And that's something that I'd like to share with you in this series. So first up, what I'm going to do is give you a bit of background about my journey and how this whole field came into being and how my work developed. Secondly, I want to share with you some principles of transformational leadership that could set you on your own path. And we'll finish off with some practical, pragmatic skills that you can put into place to grow either your own personal journey as a leader or to have a greater impact and influence on others and the organization that you're working in. So let's get started. The question I want to pose to you is, have you ever experienced a time in your work life when there was a lack of challenge and growth for you? What was that like? Another thought, have you experienced, either currently or in the past in your professional life, not having a sense of meaning and significance to what you were doing, that you just didn't feel it was really making a difference to yourself or to the company or indeed to the clients or consumers that you were serving? So this is a key element of what transformational leadership is about. And for my personal journey of transformation, it started some 25 years ago in my teen years, when I had the unfortunate, traumatic experience of having to deal with the loss of a loved one, my mother at the time. And if you've experienced something like that, what it causes you to do is to go on an incredible search for, what's really the point of life? What's it all about? What does it all mean? And why should I, and how should I express myself in this limited amount of time and years that we have on the planet? And that journey took me to vastly different places and different countries to learn from different people on what brings a sense of meaning and significance to our life. And as I grew into my 20s, that question then became, how do I find work and choose a career that has meaning and purpose and growth for me? And that's something then that I decided to and have the privilege to bring to leaders all around the world. So that's a little bit about why I am so committed to and passionate about this field of transformational leadership. It's not just about transforming results on the bottom line for the company. It's also about transforming you and me. Because when you're inspired and full of purpose and growth and meaning, you'll be able to do that to other people and therefore inspire better results from them. The extra mile, the added excellence from them. Because you're living it continuously yourself. So let's look at 3 guiding principles that can really help you as a framework and as a foundation for transformational leadership. The first one is a law, actually, the law of interconnectedness. This law states that everything in our lives is connected to everything else in our lives, and in all directions and at all times. What does that mean? As an example, think about if you made a commitment in your life to improve, let's say, your health and fitness. And that can be a change in diet, it can be exercising more, what have you. What this principle states is that an improvement and consistent action in the area of health will have positive ripple effects to other areas in your life. And you know this if you've experienced, starting to walk regularly or go to the gym regularly. It can have beneficial effects on things such as your concentration, your ability to be a little bit more patient with other people and less angry, and maybe even, helping you to sleep better just because you're more exhausted and more exercise. There's more exercise filling your day. So this law states that whatever you improve in one area, if you do it consistently and persistently, it'll have ripple effects in other areas of your life. It's a key part of transformation. A second principle is that leadership isn't always just about, although this is what we often hear, it's about having a really clear and inspiring vision and then moving towards the achievement of that vision. This principle states that as important as that is, what can be even more important is the law of elimination or simplicity. And a metaphor that I want to give you is, think about a closet. If it's stacked and filled full of clothes, there's nothing else new that can go in there. So it's realizing at the outset of pursuing a vision, what do I need to minimize, reduce, or get rid of in my personal life or professional life that'll make room for more? There can be more energy, different people, different ideas, different strategies, even different resources and different processes. So what do we continuously need to remove to make room for the new? A third principle in transformational leadership is centered on the word authority. It's the law of authority. Now you'll notice that embedded and hidden in that word authority is another word, which is author. And this law states that unless you are really, really clear on your own values, what matters to you, what's worth pursuing with your time, energy, money, and effort, unless you're really clear on what's important to you, you'll fall into what's important to other people or the system that you're in, the organization that you're in, or the clients that you're working with. Now, the downside of that and the importance of this principle is that unless you're really clear on what's important to you, you will give away your energy and passion and power to whatever else is around you and influencing you. And now the debilitating part of that is that it's hard to sustain passion and commitment when you're not feeling that your needs are being met. So this principle is about sustaining in the long term a sense of win-win, that your role is good for you, it's meeting your needs and values, and it's also good for your organization, your team, your clients and customers. So it's a sustainability principle. And I leave you with that challenge. Are you the author of what's happening in your life, or do you fall into whatever the rules and assumptions are around you, this river of conditioning around you? So that's some foundational guiding principles for your own journey of inner leadership or personal transformation. Let's now look at some practices and actions that you can take to make a difference to you and or others. The first one I want to share with you is a simple rating exercise that's also very profound. I've been given feedback by leaders from vastly different companies all around the world who even 3-4 years after being exposed to this have told me that 4-dimensional rating exercise has made such a difference to my keeping on track with what's important to me in my life or with my team. So let's look at it. It's firstly rating yourself on the dimension of physical mastery. By that I simply mean, what is the amount of exercise that you're getting? What's your diet like? What are your sleep patterns like? So can you give yourself a rating for all of these from 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high? And the 10 rating also being that it gives you a lot of energy for you to be at your best. The second dimension of personal mastery is your mental mastery. The question simply being, what are you learning in your professional life? Are you being mentally stimulated? Are you reading things, attending workshops, seminars, doing new responsibilities and tasks in your role? So are you being engaged and developed and growing mentally? The third dimension to rate yourself on is your emotional mastery. How much joy, this dimension is asking, how much pleasure, how much excitement are you feeling regularly in your professional life, in your personal life? And if it's low, how can you change that? A subsection of emotional mastery is the social dimension. So are you around people that energize and inspire you? And if not, how can you be? So give yourself a rating on that dimension, either separately or together, emotional and social mastery. The fourth and final dimension of personal mastery is called your fullness or expansiveness. It's things such as, are you engaged in activities that fill you with passion, that you really love? They can be hobbies, they can be your work, they can be sports even. Do you spend time in nature, if that's what fills you up with energy and fullness and expansiveness? Okay. Do you have interests, such as dancing or a musical instrument, that fills you with such a sense of attentiveness that you lose track of time? So the first practice I would encourage you to do is called multidimensional rating on your personal mastery. Physical, emotional, social, mental, and your fullness. The second practice that I'd get you to do, especially if you are in a very busy, demanding, stressful role or a stressful period at work, is to connect with this very powerful tool of transformation called the body. I would encourage you, when you're next finding yourself really stressed and not being able to think clearly and even feeling anxious and fearful, is to just take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, you can do it now in fact, what's happening in your physical body? So where is there tension? Where is there pressure? Is there any heat, any coolness? Just spending a few moments doing that takes you immediately out of the chattering, worrying mind and brings you back into this very powerful realm of presence, being present to yourself and to the task in front of you, to the people in front of you, if it's a meeting that you're finding you're stressful in. So connecting regularly with what's my body doing in this moment is a powerful transformational practice. So there you have it. 2 practices for you to engage with and 3 very powerful principles. I encourage you to start and do something about them straight away and be scientific about it. Notice the benefit and the difference that it brings to you, and I guarantee you it will make a difference.